tracking changes in the thick sheet of ice that covers most of the island. Why? Well, for the same reason that coal miners used to bring canaries into the coal mines. If they stopped singing, it was a warning sign that trouble was coming. Greenland's ice sheet is one of Earth's canaries when it comes to global warming. Polar regions are more sensitive to a warming Earth than other parts of the world. So what happens in places like Greenland, the rest of the Arctic, and Antarctica alerts us to what's in store for the rest of the planet. And Greenland's ice can also affect many of us directly. You see, Greenland has more land ice than any other place except Antarctica. If it all melted, it would raise sea level around 23 feet. That's enough to put coastlines throughout the world underwater. And in fact, the ice is melting. It's far from all gone. That could take centuries. But Greenland's ice sheet currently adds about 250 gigatons of water to the ocean every year. What's a gigaton? It's 1 billion tons, which is approximately a block of ice 1 kilometer square. And 250 of these giant Greenland ice blocks melt every year. All this extra fresh water from this melting ice could also change circulation patterns in the ocean and in the atmosphere. Which means, even if you don't live near the ocean, a melting Greenland could potentially affect your local weather in the future.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House. It's good to see all of you guys. All right, that was an old one. That was an opening I made, God knows, 2016, 17, had to be 17. Mindy Dunham was still with us as doing graphic arts, and she had done the beginning part, and then I just added stuff. It was before I got better at my skills, that, a little bit better. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about before you knew. What were you doing? Where were you before you knew about the climate crisis? Before you knew about climate chaos, the emergency, the problems, the Arctic, the Antarctic, CO2, all the words that we know to be true now through the science that maybe we didn't even think about in the past. So let me say hello to everybody. I am solo. Everybody's on a much needed hiatus for the holiday. Hello, Kim. Thank you for moderating. And Looney Tunes is here. And Kristen, hi. And Kai and Tim Bob and Obsolete. Hi, Scott. Wendy DeLise. It's great to see all of you. Hi, Poppy. And don't forget to join the Environmental Coffee House Discord server for some truly doomy conversation and good science in there. And hi, our good buddy, and Zelipa. And all right, well, we're going to get started. Hi there. Okay, we're going to get started because there's a few things I want to do. I have, Pendulous Dragon. Hi. There's a few things I want to do. I do have one article tonight, actually. And I have to decide whether I want to read the article first or do I want to show the actual video I made for tonight? And since it's kind of an interactive show, even though I did not put up a link for anybody to come on, because I'm going to do that on Monday, you know, the link to come on with me on Monday when I'm doing the, what else do we have to do? It's Christmas. Fuck day show. Anyway, all right. So Tim, you're saying ramp it up before I read the article? All right. I did put this video out for the few members, so some of you have seen it already. So let me cue this up and we'll get this started. Hang on. Well, that was going to be my intro. So that is me before I knew. And my big thing was I used to think, oh, okay, riding my Harley to work was definitely good for the planet because I wasn't using so much gas. Seriously, I that's how I thought. I used to think, oh, okay, I'm taking the bike to work and I'm not using any, hardly any gas at all. So what the hell? And then I'd have to change my clothes because I worked in a suit. But anyway, I'm trying to keep some of your comments here because I was hoping that maybe, by going down a little bit of memory lane. I mean, at that time, I was not thinking about climate change. I knew that there were problems. And Gary, that was where I live now. It's right down the road. All right. While we're doing this, let me fix this writing, which I didn't set up. So yeah, that was right down the road actually, and not far. I was still married and riding with my husband before like all the other crashes happen in life. But it was back when most of yes, of course I was using gas. That's how clueless I was. I rationalized it. I thought, oh, I cannot possibly be, really polluting as much riding to work, or riding around or whatever. Anyway, all right. So I had to sell it last year because I wasn't riding it, and it was when my basement was flooding. But I want you all to talk. I want you to talk about where you think you were or where you were. And I have one article tonight I'm going to set up. And it was something I found, and it was funny because I found this after. All right. I found it after. So hang on. Okay. I found this after I thought about this show. So where were you when the climate crisis began? Making sense of an undefinable moment. John Mola, PhD. And about a year ago, I was on the porch of my house with some friends, and we were watching the rain. One friend remarked, "This is a moment we will look back on in 10 years and think, that's when the climate stopped being normal." It was an unseasonable rain. It wasn't harsh. It wasn't threatening. It didn't wash away bridges or cause terrible destruction. It was just weird. A bit unexpected to have a chilly rain in the middle of a hot, dry Central California summer. If he had not mentioned it, I probably would not have even remembered that evening. There's a concept called flashbulb memory. It's when a massive piece of news enters our lives and we generate a vivid, important memory of where we were or who we were with and how we felt in that moment. A flashbulb memory is what you recall when asked, where were you on 9/11? Or where were you when Kennedy was shot? These moments can define our individual lives, but they can also define entire generations. They can create tipping points in political or cultural revolutions. Also, for your information, flashbulb memories can also be somewhat unreliable, and our stories, they change over time. But how do we create change when there's no clear answer to where were you when the climate crisis began? Climate change doesn't have a single universal flashbulb moment. There's no definable minute or day when it began. There's no way to fully attribute any given natural disaster or event to our abuse of the planet. So for each of us, we decide where and when it really began. For many people, this year may be the year climate change began for them, and this was written in 2020. Droughts, wildfires, record heat, yada, yada, every year now. My social media feed is full of people questioning the wisdom of staying where they live. Extreme events pushing people to really reconcile their lifestyle with climate reality. They are forming answers to the title question. So for me, Well, 9/11, I was 12 years old on an airplane flying from New York to Florida. That's obviously memorable, easily confirmed. And that day is used as the textbook example of flashbulb memory. But when climate change began, was I even born yet? Did it begin when I helped my high school environmental club raise money for Hurricane Katrina victims? Was it when I was shopping for N95 masks and air filters at the hardware store while wildfire smoke filled the air? Hey, it could have been any of those moments, but for me, it was just a sort of mundane summer rainfall. I think we had tacos for dinner. I liked it. I thought it worked and for this show. And now, but the show, for the most part, it really is about you guys. So I'm going to get some of your comments and start working on comments, and I hope you liked that. All right, let's go. Let me go back and go all the way through because I have a lot of memories. I mean, I truly was. Maybe I wasn't a clueless moron, but I was not thinking about the crisis until I guess it was 2017 when I stumbled upon a channel and then another channel and then Guy McPherson and then Paul Beckwith. And that was it. Once I started learning, it was over. My life, it dramatically changed. I started talking about it. I started networking with people. I started learning. I started reading. I hooked up with Jennifer, and then the Arctic became a passion. The Arctic became something I had to learn about. I had to understand the ice extent. I had to know what volume was. I had to know what extent was. I had to know why it was melting. I had to know all of it. And I found my family here online, on social media, not physically riding the motorcycle around. Not doing those things anymore. I changed a lot, and it did transform me. ECH is a natural reaction to despair. One could say that, couldn't one? But I don't feel despair doing it, especially when I'm with Jennifer, Jim, Nick, Antonio. No, it's not despair. All right. So, guys, since I wanted this to be for you, I've got some things highlighted. And then I think I have, let me see, a couple more videos. It's not going to be a super long show. A couple of old ones I made. I know I'm going to end with one particular one, but just a couple of things. So, Poppy, she's changed. She started a homestead in the Ozarks. She left pre-Silicon Valley. So that's pretty cool. Can you all see? Is the writing big enough, or should I make it bigger? Let me see. Let me put her back on again, because again, like I said, this show is just it's for you. It's not a big formal, show. Astrologer climate witness. When I began studying peak oil in 2006, it only added to the weight of it. But 2011-ish, Guy McPherson happened. Yeah, that's the way it happened for a lot of us. Only I'm way after you. I was busy in my career, and we were studying Great Lakes ecology. So pollution was very much on my mind, but not the climate, quite frankly. Lucia. 50 years ago when I did my research for a thesis on oil, and when it would reach its peak, and I found research on CO2, and at the same time I started reading the books that had come out. There's so many books. I actually did a video, I don't have it queued up, that is really books to read. Collapse, starring Michael Rupert. When did that come out? Oh boy, that's quite a while ago. Yep. Yes, they are. I was in one for 22 years, and I call it a sick office because I think it's honestly where I got an autoimmune. Hello, WSD. I didn't see you here, and because I want to make sure, and Alice and Frank, I want to make sure I say hi to all of you tonight. It's important because this is your night to share. And Lucia said, you're from the University of Waikato in New Zealand. I'm glad you're here. That's really cool. Yep. Again, another one. Mike Rupert led you to McPherson in 2018. Absolutely. And if you don't know who these people are, guys in the audience, we can certainly put links to some of the material for sure. Started with Zeitgeist moving forward. And let's see. I knew for sure on July 12th, 1998, when I worked outdoors doing soil testing during the El Nino, I went home and said as much. But for years till 2006, assumed the government was doing something about it. Oh, really? Where's my... Okay, yeah, they were. Yep, okay. The government was really doing a lot about it. That brings us to today, right? Where we are today. Sure. But I thought he was too doomy. So I shied away. Only about a year or so came back. And then the whole thing that got me good was the talk on nuclear power plants. That sealed the deal on doom. And it's not even, like I said, always with the labels, it kind of annoys me because, well, we know a lot, but we learn a lot. Everybody in here is a lifelong learner. The program for gifted children in my hometown did units on futurology back in the 70s when I was a kid. I started getting scared about overpopulation, nuclear war, loss of biodiversity, and limits to growth at that time. This was when Carter was president, so it seemed like there could still be hope. Well, I have to say, I actually remember the population bomb, and I did think about that. So I always was attuned. I think I was definitely attuned to overshoot, and that was because my campus that I was a research administrator, we studied Great Lakes ecology, which definitely was suffering from overshoot. So hi, John. Collapse. What a way to go, Dr. Albert Bartlett. Oh, yeah. I think there should be a good interview with him. I could be wrong. Wendy, just before I knew I was reading a book, then I got to a page showing side-by-side photographs of glaciated mountains in Alaska in the 1800s and the same non-glaciated in the 1900s. Well, that will do it. Oh, absolutely. I think that will do it, won't it? I think that does it to a lot of us every single time. Every single time. Every single time. I can't, you see that. I don't think I ever had a before I knew phase. I started reading pop science magazines at like 11. So maybe 10. I wasn't doing much at that age. Okay. And I was 7 and getting ready for First Communion. Oh, Deborah. I think we're going to have to flesh this one out. That's got some undertones to it, babe. It definitely does. Oh, motorbikes are fun. Yeah, that's science. It was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I rode since the first in the opening. That was me in 1980. Oh, God, 6. I'm aging myself. On my first Harley, I've had 3. And I gave my daughter my Fat Boy. She's got it now, although she doesn't ride it. It just sits there looking pretty. I don't think she's going to ride it. I don't know. Just before I understood how drastic the world would change, I experienced the total shutdown of my city in the Great Texas Freeze of 2021. I realized personally how fragile civilization is. I remember you going through that because you were following us. We've been around, and Kevin Sandbloom, Black Bear News, and the whole move for you. That was frightening. Absolutely frightening if you lived there. I don't know if you're the youngest one. Looney Tunes is young. We're bringing in young people because it's your future. There could be a lot of blame. People can say, well, you guys fucked it up for us. That's if we knew. We were just as gaslit, lied to, and manipulated as anyone, as any generation. We just had different media. But I came of age when right-wing hate media was coming of age. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was horrible, but I saw people change. I saw people change. Gary. Oh, where I live. That's where I live now. Yeah, absolutely. Where I live now. All right, guys, let's see. Some more. Allison. Reading Tom Hartman's Last Hours of Ancient Sunlight 20 years ago opened my eyes to the coming disaster. Oh, that's absolutely very cool. Tom, what a writer. What a historian. He's an incredible historian. His books are incredible. Before I knew I was teaching myself Objective-C programming language, I lost interest in that after seeing one of Guy McPherson's presentations. So I think we all will agree that once you run into Guy McPherson, life changes because you listen to somebody who's describing overshoot. He's an evolutionary ecological biologist. He understands the planet. He talks about extinction. It was the first time I had ever thought about that. I think we'll go extinct. I was there in 1970, Bongo Dave. Yeah. And of course, yes, the climate crisis began before I was born. Okay. I think the climate crisis, quite frankly, began when people were still riding in horse and buggies and burning coal, and the steel mills were starting and cars were coming and we were polluting and cutting down trees exponentially. I have felt that we were on a bad trend and bad path since I was around 40 years ago, but knew about 8 years ago I was running a restaurant. Well, we all had to eat and work, right? So it is what it is. I really had no clue. Before 2003, of course, I knew overpopulation was an issue, but I still didn't get it. Yeah, I knew it was an issue, but what to do about it? If you were like me and you were marching in D.C. for pro-choice, you certainly couldn't put overpopulation and pro-choice together because then you'd be called a eugenicist. And that wasn't what it was about. It was women's rights. Ever the activist here. Tommyist, I'm looking, I see people responding to you, but I don't see your comment. Gary, I knew about ecocide when I was a small child. Saw forests felled, industrial agriculture, suburbs. I could see we were killing off the life around us, a lifetime lived within the bright green lie. Yes, actually, yes, Gary. It is a bright green lie, just like Derek Jensen says. Only we can't live every day, every single day, in that kind of funk. Kai, I just make peace with myself now and make friends with animals. Me too. That's why I have so many. That's why when I'm doing shows now, everybody sits at the door and I can hear them crying, meowing, banging, but they can't come in here. Yeah, no, they're not allowed to come in here. Because they'll just wreck everything. So, oh, Pussy Riot. Yeah, that I remember them. Oh, we could start talking about music. I think what Guy did was undermine the urgency and the far-reaching effects, and it seems like events are backing him up. Yeah, he underlined the urgency. Yes. Global warming started 8,000 years ago. Thank you. Okay. All right. I would like to find the applause for that. Yeah. I think Rollins Switch is probably very right since we started doing all that shit. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. Yeah. Erin Brockovich, remember her? Of course, we knew that there were things like Love Canal. We knew about pollution. We knew about all those kinds of things, but they never crossed with the climate. Even when we went from leaded to unleaded gasoline, it still never seemed to have such an urgency. And as the age groups here, are varied within this chat. So, those of us that are older, we lived through the same thing. We saw that there wasn't an urgency. Even when we saw scientists talk about it, I remember the first time I saw Isaac Asimov, who was the science fiction writer, and I've used clips from him talk about it. It seemed so surreal. It didn't seem real. It didn't seem like, we were always told it was never going to happen in our lifetime, never going to happen in our lifetime. And now what? Lucia, are you leaving? Good night, Lucia. Thank you so much for coming from New Zealand. It really was lovely to see you. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Thomas has a comment. To me, it's laughably short-sighted for anyone to assume that humans cannot bring about our own extinction. A century ago, we did not even know the structure of DNA. Huh. Interesting. I like that. It is laughably short-sighted for anyone to assume that humans cannot. Of course we can. We're all here because we know that. We're not in denial. No. Okay. Hi, early love. 1971, Population Resources Environment, Paul and Ann Ehrlich. Absolutely. That seems to be, well, for us older folks, a theme. Our Angry Earth by Isaac Asimov. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, go humans. The Ehrlichs. Yep. Absolutely. And he got beat up in the media and they called him a eugenicist. He's not. I was surprised. And then Overshoot by William Catton, which I actually didn't read till late in the game. I found out about that book probably about 2018. And I thought I heard about the book in college, but it wasn't something that we were given to read. So being that we weren't given to read it, yes, eviscerated by the mainstream media, everything, right? Everything. Because we were told that things were okay. We were told to, my generation, we were told to buy everything, that buying things would make us happy, and that look at all these inventions that were going on in the techno world. Cars were getting better. We took the lead out. We had catalytic converters put in, so of course we were not going to destroy the atmosphere or the ozone hole. And what has happened? It's just gotten worse. Every single year. 28 Council of the Parties of the United Nations, and it has come to this. It has come to the COP28 being run by the fossil fuel industry at the absolute worst time in history for that to happen. So 65 of us are woke, maybe a few more. I always like to say 0.0000001% maybe understand what we do. But you know what? When I started this channel, some weeks, and especially when we were putting things on Environmental Coffee House on the Facebook page, right? Some weeks we couldn't find anything related to climate change. Some weeks there was nothing on environmental issues, or until at least the pipeline fight, the first big one that was national, and that was Standing Rock. And then the one we had here, which was against National Fuel, which was the Northern Access Pipeline, which I was very intricately involved in, and we won. We did not lose, and it never got built, and it still hasn't gotten built. And they're still in court because we're not ever going to let them build it. Think about how drastically bird and animal populations have gone down in just the last 50 years. Absolutely. That's why we always talk about, look at the insects. Another thing. Everybody says, well, there's no insects on my car. There's no insects on my car. Well, if you live in an urban area, more so, you're not going to have the kind of insects. I still out here, if I drive at night, will have insects on my car, but it's not like it was. And I don't go out that, I try not to go out that much, but there's a big difference because of light pollution also. Light pollution, nobody thinks about that, but it's a huge issue. Cities and urban areas, suburbs, there's no darkness. Insects they're all screwed up. All right. The knowledge apocalypse of the past century came in parallel with exponential growth. Nice to know that we are skidding off the cliff. Yeah, I would say skidding. One of my videos, one of my videos is sort of similar. Maybe I should play that. I don't know. Yeah, COP28. Yeah, COP28. Yikes, or should I say yipes? Either one. I don't even know. Do I have... Nope, that's not the one. Oh, well. I can't find all these things. I have things programmed. I don't even know where half of them are. There was something I was going to do for you, but this is COP28. Yep. That's what COP28 is. Yeah. And then this is COP28. This is us. This is going to be us. Can't breathe. What do you think? Is that us? Oh, God. That is us. All right, listen. Let me see how. You're a sweetheart. Okay, so you're labeling it. There's no windshield, no insects at all, and you're pretty rural. You're in the Ozarks. That's really, really upsetting to hear. It is. It really, really is. And yes, it is a huge disappointment. I love it where I live because of the fact that it is completely 100% dark. Yeah, that's what it was. You want me to play it again? This is COP28. Oh, yeah. Remember when you could carry a stick when you go in the woods so you can knock down a spider web or whatever creature was coming towards you? Hey, there was a creature last year. You didn't see my video. You saw my video. I got stung by the wasp because I don't get rid of the wasps. I let them stay, and I was in the front because I like to collect the nests after they're done because they're just works of art. What wasp nests build, I love to keep them. Absolutely. Call in the first responders. We fight for the air to be cleaner, we wish. I mean, yes, things have changed. Things have gotten somewhat cleaner, but in the same sense, really what? The light pollution has increased tremendously, and you live in a country area. I'm waiting for it to start here, but we're not exactly bringing industry here, so... I'm just waiting for us to move out of the bargaining denial phase and into the cannibalism phase. Oh, we're going to get eaten. Yeah. Can you think about this music and just think about the Donner Party? Oh, God. I love you guys. I'm telling you. I really do. Lately, I keep thinking about how central war and genocide are to our civilization. The way we treat other species is the way we treat each other. Love is the only antidote to hatred. We need love, but there's not enough love, Gary. There's love in me. I love a lot. There's love. There was love in Michael Dowd. There's love. There's love in you. There's love in people here, but there's not love in the world. Not when we keep producing nuclear weapons, not when we keep having wars, not when we keep being an imperialist, horrible country that's enabling genocidal behavior. Yes, thank you for letting me rant at you when I had my climate epiphany. That's right. Not that I loved it, but how do you like your rump? Trump, rump. That's another thing. You know that guy. We said it before, but this time he gets elected. We really are fucked. I mean, Who knows if we're even going to be able to do this? COP28 is so funny to me. It's literally being chaired by an oil baron. If you look into it, besides the actual scientific reporting, it is legit hilarious. Absolutely. It really was. And, we're going to be doing our State of the Planet with the whole team. And I don't even think we're going to spend that much time. Usually Antonio really dives in. I'm just not sure we're going to. How much there is to dive into. All right. Let me read you. All of this, no matter what label you put on it, is an excuse for the rich to treat others without humanity, all for greed, power, and ego. They want to be able to commit crimes against humanity without accountability. That's why we're not going to be here forever. Exactly why. What you just said. Thank you, Kristen, for that. Let me see. Do I have I really need a super chat sound, since now, I keep saying, let me see, what's this? No, that's not going to work. Is this a super good super chat sound? Let's play it again, since I'm just fucking around tonight. Okay. Open the door. Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's go back. Not mowing my lawn has helped the firefly population around my yard. Yeah, that's the No Mow May. That's what Obsolete Optics, Brett was harping on me all in May. And I actually only mow paths because I have to, because there's ticks. And if I want to walk, I really need to have some mowed paths. But since I've rewilded my property, it's a huge difference. I love it. I used to fight with my ex-husband. I'd say, what the hell are you mowing all this shit for? Why? What's the point? It was one of our biggest fights. Yeah, you're right. We can only create small communities of mutual care and love. We do not control the larger outcomes. Love will always supersize us, though. Trust love. Well, I trust love to a degree, but a different kind of love. Certainly not I will ever get married love again. I struck out twice. I'm done. Yeah, I know. Aw. That's sweet. Your dog just went crazy on that. Hi, Chris. A great and rainy Christmas here in Prince Edward County. It's going to be 10 Celsius on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty shitty Christmas Day. It is. All right, listen. I'm going to take a break for a minute. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be a super long show. I'm going to play another old video. Sit back, relax, watch this one, and see if you remember this one. All right. Memory lane when my videos were not that good. All right, wake up, everyone. Wake up, wake up. I see that you started to talk about seeds and gardening, and that is something you might start visiting local seed libraries this winter, prepare for gardening. I love that because I'm already preparing for gardening. I've been trying to overwinter things, but the peppers did not work out very well. But that's what we'll start again and live by the seasons. I live by the seasons, and each season it gets harder. Hey, you're always doing the same shit you've always been doing. Well, most of us probably are, but a lot more enlightened, I would say. Right? Yeah. Oh, your garden is ready? Cool. That's really cool. I don't know if mine is, but I'm not I'm going to do a little bit more on the deck. Scott had sent me the green stalk, and I spoiled myself, and I got one more, and I can do it right outside on my deck and grow like phenomenal vegetables right up on the deck. And it's not as hard on my back as the front garden, which I won't give up, but I'm only growing what I can for myself to eat. That's it. So, and I'll still be doing the disabled able gardener because I like doing that. And BB, I'm glad you're here. That means you're feeling better, which is great. I used to be a techno-optimist and believe in singularity. Not anymore since getting into urban farming. A lot of people do urban farming, which is great because you can grow anything anywhere. You definitely, what front garden needs migrant labor? Yeah, right. No, I've got campers that come, Warren and Sean. They came last year, but at the end of the season. This year they're going to come for 6 months, which will be great. They come up from FLA. Yes. So the human brain runs on about 20 watts, and yet it has caused the world so much trouble. Ain't that the truth? Damn. Yeah, that's the truth. I'm just playing random shit tonight. Woohoo! All right. I'll make it lower. I'm going to keep some music on because we're not going to stay on too much longer. Hey, Bob. Very nice to see you. Happy holidays, Bob. All right, listen. If you're into a different kind of show tonight, Letter Hack is on at 9 o'clock. He's got a guest. I do that completely different stuff on Wednesday nights now, left past 10, which I have to say I'm really enjoying. So, you need a change in life. You could still be growing veggies in December. Wow. The way it was, I had Brussels sprouts growing, and I didn't pull them. I should have pulled them. I left them and forgot that they were still growing, so I left them. All right. Hey, but the truth, how nice. It's really great. Everybody's stopping in. Are you all going to come back on Christmas Day if you have nothing to do? I'm just going to do this. Same kind of thing, only I'm going to put a link in, and if you have listen, most people don't have good cameras or headsets or whatever. Just make sure I can hear you. And you could come on, and I'm going to set up the screen so that everybody can come on, Yeah, so, yeah, this was good. We talked about our own experiences. Hey, is Raza here? Hi, Raza. Wow. Hey, that's very cool. Well, you're in Florida. You're lucky. You're a snowbird. But actually, I have lights in the house, and I have some things. I just started some beans, actually. And I have, now here's a quick story about gardening. I got from Katie, who I love dearly. She follows us. She sent me these hydroponic gardens, and they're great for inside. I love them. 4 of them. Well, 2 of them are just done. And then you can't even get to customer service to try to get help. It's planned obsolescence. It's a shame because I'm ready to plant the one that I have ready to go for lettuce, but I couldn't believe that they would just break like that. Unbelievable. Isn't it amazing how good it is just to talk and conversate and mingle with people? Left Past 10 is fun for that. Yeah, it is. I love being on that show because I love everybody on it. I wouldn't be on a show with people I don't like. And Matt, the letter hack, is a great host, and he's very positive. And I think in life, sometimes we all know, if you know how shitty everything is, sometimes a positive person and talking about totally different topics. He's a comic strip artist. He's an artist, and he's different, and it puts a smile on my face. And something that puts a smile on my face, I'm sorry, these days, it's priceless. So, it is. Yeah, it sure has, Melanie. They have changed. It changed here by, it went up, be more aggressive. Ugh. How aggressive? Why do you want me to be aggressive? I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying to be myself, All right. Well, listen, we're just going on an hour, and I am, simply smiling. See, sometimes simply smiling is good. It's good. And if you could consume the kind of stuff I do all the time for these shows, no wonder why Jennifer needs a break. It's a lot. It is a lot. We talk about this, ad nauseum, how we compartmentalize it or change it or put it away or deal with grief and all that. But sometimes it is tiring. And I'm not going to lie, this is a tough time of year for me. Probably that's why I'm doing a Christmas show, because I don't want to go anywhere. And it's like every single year I get the blues. I get the blues at Christmas. I do. I get the blues. And it's like everything's breaking. My front door now is leaking. The water's coming in. I bought it today. I went out and got it. I have to unscrew this rubber shit that's coming off and screw in another piece. It's always something with a house, but I'm blessed that I have one. And I'm never going to say I'm not. No. Before leaving for Letter Hack or No Comment Chick, hit the like, share, and subscribe. Looney Tunes, you're wonderful. He's our youngest one, I think. Well, everybody, let me see what I'm gonna play. Let me see what I keyed up for you guys. Oh yeah, I'd like to. Sure, that's why I quit smoking weed, because first of all, I'm paranoid. I'm gonna have nobody to take care of my cats if I get sick, and I like singing, and I like my voice to sound good. All right, what did I cue up here? All right. First of all, we didn't do a flush of the day. Well, last of all, what should we flush? I'm just gonna play it. Let's just fucking flush everything. Flush Christmas. Flush the holidays. I'll wake up, but keep smoking. Yeah. Well, I grew enough. Oh my God. I still have indica from last year and sativa from this year. And Sam's sister gave me the recipe for the tinctures, which I haven't made yet because I am the biggest procrastinator because I always have 400 projects going at once. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for everything. I love you guys. And I'm going to end with a video, and I will see you. Oh, he did already. He stayed here for 2 weeks last year when I went to Florida with all my cats. Yes. A person I know I can always trust that will be here when I need them, when I need him to help me, except when he's in Florida. All right. Oh, look at that. Where's the applause? Oh, where the hell is it? I need to fix these goddamn buttons on this thing. I have the button thing to press the button, and I have magical thinking. That's up. All right, so I'll see you guys. She named her cat Sativa. We could do this all night. Let's just do this on Christmas Day. If those of you, it's funny because June Morris. Hi, June. Long time no see. Now, June's from the old days. Holy shit. That's really great. Aw, I got to get everybody in there. You're the best, fellow Earthlings. I love you all. Yeah, bah humbug. I know. I can't stand it either. Fuck it. It goes way back. It goes way back. The story about my parents, and we were just sitting there doing nothing on a Christmas day, and they dropped us off at the movies, me and my brother, to see 2001 A Space Odyssey. We were kids. They just didn't know what to do with us. And I was like, I mean, little. I didn't even understand what I was watching. That was when we lived in California. Oh my God. The things you remember. All right, everybody, this is a love fest. June is still around. She just doesn't, I don't know where you are, June. Yeah, it's the existential dread, right? Yeah, that's the year my stupid house was built. Well, my father, you say sorry, but my father didn't believe in anything. He was an atheist, communist, whatever my mother called him. I don't know. My bio dad, anyway. All right, guys, I'm not going to keep going because Matt's going to start. All right? Bye. I love you. See you Christmas. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you.